What is up, everybody? So this video may look a little bit different to you. I may even look a little bit different than to you. What's up, everybody? So tonight is one of 6 fantasy football draft leagues that I am in this year. I'm in 6 leagues. This is the first one tonight of 6. So I'm going to try to stream as many as I can. One of them I may not be able to do for a stream because I have to go in person to do that draft, but it'll be fun. If you guys have never played fantasy football before, this will probably be like, what the hell am I watching? If you have played fantasy football before, you'll know exactly what's going on. So it's going to show.
Okay, it probably goes without saying that you weren't hoping for the 8th pick in this draft when you launched the room. I've never heard a single person actively seek out the 8th pick. Oh man, the league better hope I don't draw the 8th spot. If I'm 8, it's over for these fools. You don't hear it. But just because you didn't get everything you wanted from the draft draw, that doesn't mean you can't win this thing. You certainly can. Now, it's true that you're probably going to be shut out on the absolute top tier receivers and running backs unless some knucklehead in front of you makes a wild choice. But you're still going to open this draft with a pair of players who have the potential to play their way into the top tiers for 2025. I'm going to encourage you to just chase those young and ascending players up and down your draft. Those are the guys who tend to have ceilings that aren't necessarily reflected in their draft cost. Remember, this is a game in which you don't have to nail absolutely every pick. Instead, you just need to get 2 or 3 big things right, and you should cruise to the playoffs.
Yeah, was not hoping for 8th pick, but you know what? Things happen. Not gonna beat myself up because this is gonna be fun. This is why I do this. Drafting is fun for this for fantasy, but the fact that we are 8th pick isn't bad. It's better than 10th pick. I'll tell you that much. We at least have an opportunity to maybe hit something here. So just checking my YouTube. Have an opportunity. Okay, so yeah, it's working. But yeah, it's not ideal, but we do have some options. Now, here's one thing I wanted to show you guys. We have 17 roster spots on this one. This one, I play in a lot of super flex, so you need like double quarterback for this league. And so you're going to notice a lot of quarterbacks go fairly early in this league. Now, if we weren't super flex, quarterbacks like in a regular PPR with single quarterback usually go like 3rd, 4th round. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks go in the 1st round. The only problem I have with it is the fact that if we look for quarterbacks here, so you see Christian McCaffrey, 400 fantasy points. You know, the quarterbacks, they're up in the 500s. So in this league, quarterbacks are actually more valuable than actual running backs. That's why you're going to see a lot of quarterbacks go in the 1st round. So draft's about to start. You're going to see the draft results coming in here. I like to sit here on draft results until it's my turn. I think more likely we're probably going to start off with a non-safe round, but we'll see what happens. We might get like a Breece Hall or something. Yeah, obviously Christian McCaffrey is going to go number 1. There was no doubt about that. So let's go ahead. This is what I want on the draft board here. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see how these guys kind of pick in front of me, and then that'll kind of determine what I take here. So he already took Breece Hall. Interesting. So a lot of people are valuing running backs right away for the first 2 picks. There went a quarterback. Probably see another quarterback go here. And yeah, if you've never played fantasy football, basically you're trying to draft like a quarterback, some receivers, some running backs, a tight end, a kicker, a defense, and you play these players as a way to really score points. So it's kind of like D&D for football, I guess, or no? What would be a better? I don't know. Kind of like Magic drafting, but football players. The only problem is it's 1 pack instead of 3 packs. So the rares and the mythics get taken pretty early, and then you get down to the commons and uncommons. So, all right, we're up next. Only 1 quarterback has been taken, which is wild to think about. So depending on what this guy does, I might just take Patrick Mahomes. Because that'll solidify us with the top quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think Josh Allen's going to have as good of a year. He's a Jamar Chase. Yeah, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes here because I feel like he's got the best chance to really break out. So we're going to go ahead and take it. That solidifies one of our quarterbacks, which is perfect. Now, as we wrap around, more than likely what I'm going to be taking is a running back here. So let's go over to players. Let's go to running backs. Probably going to be taking Derrick Henry here just because I really like Derrick Henry this year in Baltimore. A lot of people would probably think that he's washed up, but every year he keeps proving over and over how good he is. And a lot of people just don't see it. I think him being in Baltimore, he has a much better team than he did in Tennessee. So you can play this on 2x speed if you're watching the replay, just so that you can get through this faster. I might try to go through and edit the thing with timestamps later. If you're watching the live, sorry, it's just the way it's going to be. All right, so let's see here. He went double receiver. I think receivers are a dime a dozen, honestly. You don't really have to go hard on receivers. I think it's the running backs and the quarterbacks, especially in a double quarterback league, that you really want to get into. So let's see what this guy takes. I would be very shocked if he took a receiver, to be honest. Although he might think, oh, the receivers are drying up, I need to take an elite receiver. But I'm going quarterback, running back to really solidify that core right there. And then on the wraparound, I'll probably take a receiver and then another running back, just so I can have those 4 really positioned well. He took a receiver. That's what I was, I kind of called it. But I think here we're going to go ahead and draft Henry. And I feel really good with the first 2 picks there. So coming back to us, let's go back to all players here because this will give us an idea of where we're going to fall. So Ayuk, Devon Achane, Cooper Kupp, Kelsey, Laporta, Josh Jacobs. Yeah, so I like maybe getting maybe a Mike Evans or an Isaiah Pacheco. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm not big on Devon Achane. That's going to be a 3-headed backfield with Mostert, Achane, and the new guy they just got. Nico Collins, there's a lot of mouths to feed in Houston now with Stephon Diggs being there. So you got Stephon Diggs, you got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell, you got Dalton Schultz. There's a lot of people. In that offense that, it's going to be rough. So we're just gonna watch how this goes. Yeah. See, I figured some running backs would start to go here. I know this guy is going to take another running back. He always goes double running back, no matter where he's at. We're not going to take another quarterback until probably right in here. And it might be like a Kirk Cousins. It might be a Jordan Love. I'm not sure yet. I kind of want to feel out the draft, see where everyone's going. Because we've already got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson all gone, which are the top ones right now. Let's see. Anthony Richards, Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love. It has fallen off pretty hard after that, so it's going to be interesting. So he took Marvin Harris Jr. Interesting, going with the rookie there. as a second round pick. I think that's a little high, to be honest. Just for the fact that Kyler Murray didn't really play a whole season last year, and a bunch of others, he got hurt, and so I don't know. I mean, Marvin Harris is a good receiver. Don't get me wrong. I think he'll do really well, but he is a rookie, and it's rolling the dice when you take a rookie in like the first 3 rounds. Like last year when I took Jahmyr Gibbs, I was kind of like regretting it halfway through the season, and then he just turned it on towards the end of the season. So it's hit or miss. Another one like David Johnson, a couple years ago as a rookie, he did really well. A lot of people thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire would do good. He fell off. So you never know. You never know how these players are going to pan out in the NFL. So there it is right there. I told you, double running back. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a third running back here. But I think he might solidify a receiver here. What's left on the all players? I think he might take Puka Nacua, or he took Pacheco. That was going to be the other thing I was going to say. And see, I know this guy. I've played with him for like 5-6 years now, up to 3 running backs. Not surprised. So, yeah. Travis Etienne, that's a good pick. I had Etienne last year. I just don't know how that offense is going to be. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's an okay quarterback. He just hasn't been panning out the way I thought he would. I just felt like this offense could have done much better. So there's Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's see here. So, yeah, it's looking like Mike Evans or maybe Puka Nacua. I don't want Adams. That offense is just not clicking very well. Did he finally get his contract resolved here? Still up in the air. See, that makes me kind of iffy there. Let's see. Dak Prescott, Devontae Adams is gone. That's fine. He's got double running back, so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Puka or Evans here. Maybe he takes a quarterback because a lot of the good quarterbacks are gone. So I would definitely if I was him, I'd definitely probably be taking a quarterback over like a Puka Nacua or Mike Evans, just because he's got 2 good running backs and there's a plethora of receivers that are still left. And a running quarterback is probably the better pick for him right here. So he took Chris Olave. I'm okay with that. So I have a feeling they're going to probably auto draft him a running back, but it usually drafts the best. To Puka Nacua. Okay, I like Mike Evans here. A lot of people are down on Mike Evans. I don't know why. He's put up consistently good numbers every year. Baker, the Baker show's back in Tampa. Him and Baker have a really good rapport. And a 3rd round pick for my first receiver. I mean, I went quarterback, running back, receiver, just to really solidify my top options here. But coming back around, I think we're probably going to take Josh Jacobs here as our RB2, just because I really like that option. Being in the 8th position, you have to kind of draft the way I'm drafting. In the first position or in the last position, it's a lot easier to take like double running back, double receiver, because you're getting 2 really good options at that time. Or you either go split and you go 1 and 1. But if you're in like the middle, like anywhere between 4 to 7, it's a little bit different. Like I've learned over the years, drafting in certain spots, you really have to like know what you're going to have falling to you in a sense, and then kind of pick it up from there. But as we get into our later rounds, that's where we're really going to find the gems. And so once we get our kind of our main team established, then I'm going to start picking up a lot of like running backs and receivers that really, this douche took Josh Jacobs. All right, so I have a backup, and I'll explain it in a second, but that really pisses me off because I was going to take Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to have a really good this year on the Packers, but My backup is Joe Mixon. Hopefully this douche nozzle doesn't take Joe Mixon too, because if he takes Joe Mixon, I'm just going to lose my shit. Chat, one of the kids is picked for you. Oh, that's funny. We talk a lot of crap in these leagues. But yeah, it's. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a really good year. I think Cincinnati is kind of falling out of their. I mean, I don't know if with Joe Burrow being injured and all the other stuff going on, I don't know, Jamar Chase, he's going to get double teamed a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how Cincinnati works. Okay, so he took Drake London. Cool. So that means we're going to go down and we're just going to go get Joe Mixon now. Because it's going to be a while before it comes back to us. And I don't like Devon Achane. And if we go to the running backs here, Joe Mixon's next. So it's not like we're jumping too far ahead on the running back situation. So yeah, I think Joe Mixon's the pick here over Achane. I don't know why Achane's being drafted so highly like that, because we have, they still have Raheem Mostert. Mostert is still the number one there. I mean, Achane and Mostert as a 1-2 punch is really good. And don't get me wrong, if you draft Mostert in the 8th round, that's such value in your leagues. If you can get Mostert in the 8th round, you're not spending a high pick for him. He'll put up some good numbers. You can run him in your flex spot because he may not be 100% on the field all the time, especially with that 3-headed backfield that they're going to be running. So spending that early for Devon Achane just seems so bad to me. That's why I went down to Joe Mixon. Plus, if you look, I've got a while before it comes back to me. So Mahomes, Henry, Evans, Mixon, solid start for being in the 8th pick, in my opinion. Some of you may disagree, which, hey, I didn't ask for 8th pick. Honestly, I'd rather be 1st pick, and I would much rather have McCaffrey and Pacheco. I wouldn't have taken Kyren Williams. I don't think he's going to be as good this year. But hey, I could be proven wrong, right? So I really wish I could make this part bigger, just so I could see the board better, but I guess not. Anyways, let's go ahead and hide the chat here. The only thing that sucks about taking this running back duo is they both have a bye in week 14. But because they both have a bye in week 14, if we're shoot in for the playoffs by then, it's not going to hurt us as bad as if both these guys were week 6 or week 5. So that's another thing to kind of pay attention to when you're drafting your players is when are their bye weeks? Mahomes is week 6. So if we go look at the quarterbacks here, my next target for quarterback with bye weeks, is it showing here? Week 14, week 14, week 12, week 10, week 14. The only Tua's week 6, Stafford's week 6, which I'm not targeting either one of those, and I'm not getting Sam Darnold. So I don't think we're going to double up on quarterbacks being on the same bye week, which is decent. So that'll help. There's a lot of elements to this if you haven't played before. You got to pay attention to bye weeks. You got to watch for injury reports. You got to see weather conditions. Are they playing in a dome? Are they playing outside? When Miami went to go play in KC and it was 30 below or some dumb shit like that during the playoffs. You got to pay attention to that. Because somebody is going to play better in certain conditions versus other conditions. I forget who it was. I think it's Jared Goff plays really well at Ford Field. But if he plays at other places, he's a little bit weaker because Ford Field is a dome. So if he plays in dome environments, he does fairly well. But if he plays in open air environments like Lambeau Field or Soldier Field or other places like that, he tends to not be as good because there's wind factor in those stadiums versus no wind factor in Ford Field. So yeah, there's so many intricacies to this game of drafting certain players and understanding what their roles are. You look at certain players that like Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler now in Washington, and how they're going to interact with the backfield. Austin Eckler, really good pass catching running back. Brian Robinson, really good pass catching running back. So both of them can play third down. Both of them can play 1 and 2 down. It's just a matter of what the coaches want to do. And so that's another thing, is pay attention to the coaches. I mean, you can take this as in-depth as you want to take it. And I do get like that. I do get pretty into it and trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with that? So I think my next one here, God, I really, really don't know here as far as like I don't want Jalen Waddle. Good. Gone. Wow. Let's see. Wide receivers. I'm not really liking a lot of these options here. So let's go over to running backs. Let's see what's left for running backs. I think at this point, what about tight ends? What's there for tight ends? I think I'm going to go with George Kittle here. I think George Kittle is probably the best pick out of what's available. And then I think we're going to go with, it's going to be Wild's pick here, but with Russell Wilson there now, I think George Pickens is probably going to do really well this year. Last year he did okay. He's got Justin Fields or, Russell Wilson to throw to him. They got Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren out of the backfield. I mean, there's some good weapons there. There's some good ways to get around some stuff. I like Rashee Rice, but I don't think this is the round we take him. I think we take him in the next round coming up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take George Pickens on the wraparound here. So we'll see what happens when it comes back to us. But I like taking Kittle. I think Kittle is going to do really well in that offense. And getting Kittle in the 5th round as one of the top 5 tight ends, I'm okay with that, especially in the 8th position. We've locked up a really good tight end. We used a 5th pick for it. It's not like we used a super high pick. And so when it wraps around here, I think I'm going to look again to see what's kind of out there, and then we'll make a decision. But if George Pickens gets taken, I might reach for Rashee Rice. So we'll see here. I think Mahomes and Rice, although I think Rice might fall to the next wraparound. So I don't know if I really want to take him this round. So let's go ahead and just wait and see what happens here. So James Cook's gone. That's fine. So we definitely need 2 more like receiver / running backs here. Yes, I am a Packers fan. Diehard Packers fan for years. I grew up watching Amon Green, Brett Favre, Jermichael Finley, let's see, BJ Raji, Reggie White, like bunch of those guys. So yes, I am a diehard Packers fan. Was I sad to see Aaron Rodgers go? Just a little, but not a whole lot. I'm actually wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey right now. I like the guy. He was a good player for years, but everybody gets old and gets to a point where they got to move on. So, all right. Amari Cooper. I like him, but I don't know if he's going to do that good this year. Deshaun Watson's going to be playing a full year. Hopefully he gets his shit together. Like I said, I think, let's see, George Pickens might be the pick. Let's look at our running backs here. No, it's either Ramondre Stevenson or Alvin Kamara here, or James Conner is a good one too. There's a lot of running backs still left. I feel like there's a lot of receivers. Let's see. A lot of people need running backs. A lot of people don't need receivers. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a running back, and I think we're going to take our Alvin Kamara. I love Alvin. I think he's a really good running back. And I think a lot of people are dousing on him too, just like they're dousing on Derrick Henry. He's not as young and spry as he used to be and all those other things. And it's like, I still think Derek Carr will check down to him so much. And in a PPR format, that is a good thing. Yeah, he may get a yard or two, but every catch is a point. So if he's getting 3 yards, 4 yards on a catch, you're getting 1.3, 1.4. You're just dicing those little dink and dunks, and it adds up. And Alvin Kamara is good even when the team is behind, unlike some running backs where they're like a bell cow, where it's like a 1-2 down back, and then they're just not a lot of what do you call it? They're a bruiser back, and when the team's behind, they got to pass more, and they're not a pass catching back. Then they fall off a lot harder than a team with a pass catching back like Austin Eckler or Brian Robinson or Alvin Kamara, things like that. I watch it here and there. It's one of those things where like I'm more invested into this with everything that goes on, but I do know about like Ohio State and Roll Tide with Alabama and the Florida Gators and all the other teams, LSU and all that, because a lot of these players come from there. So I kind of pay attention to the college tapes here and there to see what kind of schemes they're in, like quarterbacks, if they're good on play action, or if they're if they can read through their options, things like that. So it's good to pay attention to college ball and see all of the players that are coming through and see, but it's more NFL for me. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm not against watching it. If I'm like at somebody's house and they have it on, I'll sit there and watch it. Same with like college basketball. I'm not really big into it until like the March Madness happens. So, well, there went James Conner and Ramondre Stevenson. I was hoping those guys would continue to kind of fall, but I didn't think that was going to happen. So my next kind of target here is like Najee Harris or maybe like Raheem Mostert, because we're getting them in the 7th, 8th round, somewhere in there. Yeah, Hillbilly told me you were an Ohio Buckeye fan there. Okay, so Najee Harris is gone, so that's not going to be an option. I had a feeling a lot of people were going to start drafting running backs, so I that's why I took one here, so that our 3 running backs are Henry, Mixon, Kamara. Like, I like that. That's not bad to me. I might take one more running back here. Let's see what I think this is the time that I take Rashee Rice followed up with like a running back here. Let's see what the quarterbacks look like. Quarterbacks are starting to fall off pretty hard too. We might have to take a quarterback here. Let's see what the draft results show. Yeah, I think we might have to take a quarterback here just to solidify our 2 quarterbacks. I don't like taking it now, but I got to make sure I get one that's still left that's actually, okay tier. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, I think he's going to do really well. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Tyler Algier. Like, they got some good weapons there. And Kirk Cousins, he's not a deep ball thrower. I mean, he can launch one when he needs one, but majority of the time he's probably going to be hitting Bijan out on the flat. He's going to be, getting some good short routes to Drake London. Kyle Pitts will probably catch a lot of good contested balls if he can get his hands working. But I think Kirk Cousins is probably the best quarterback Atlanta's had for quite some time. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to get our second receiver here. And it's going to be, God, let's see. What is all players looking like? Where is he at? Like, there he is right there. I think we might have to take Rashee Rice here. We'll see. We'll see how things kind of play out here. I'm hoping that it kind of like goes like receiver here, and they take like Nabers and Cooper. Yeah, I've got another draft tomorrow. I've got one on Thursday. And then next week, I have one on Monday, one on Tuesday. And then I'm still waiting to hear one other league when the draft day actually is going to be. So, and then I got softball season starting with the kiddos. So that's going to be fun. I coached the softball team. So I got to manage all my fantasy teams and coach softball. It's going to be a wild fall, which I like staying busy. All right, so he took Amari Cooper. So one of the reasons why I'm targeting Rashee Rice is because we've got Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people want to stay away from him. I don't know if I want to take the gamble of 4 more receivers before him going, and we have to wait like another 16 picks before we get him. So I think I got to go ahead and take him now if I want him. So that solidifies our like core. We got Mahomes, Evans, Rice, Henry, Mixon, Kittle, and then Cousins is our secondary quarterback here for that super flex. And then we've got Kamara. Now we're at the point where we kind of want to take best case scenario here. So now that we've really gotten our core, I want to see what we get on the wraparound here to fill in that last flex spot. And then from there, we're going to really have to find some gems, like some diamonds in the rough. Because with each team having 17 picks, it's going to be slim pickings towards the end. I almost think that I need to take another quarterback when it comes back around, just because I want to be solidified with a quarterback, but I just don't know who to take at this point. I know I'm kind of eyeing Drake May here, only because Jacoby Brissett got hurt recently. So if you look at the thing here, he messed up his shoulder. So he downplayed the shoulder. Yeah, they said he would have been able to play if it had been a preseason game, but Jacoby Brissett does get hurt a lot. So stashing Drake May would be a really good stash. And I think I'm going to use that as a later pick. So we'll see. So see how all of these receivers started to go? I don't think Rashee Rice would have been there if we would have tried to wait. I think we really had to grab him in that 8th round pick like we did. And then we're going to have to hope and pray coming later that we get something. So he's got 5 running backs. Wow, he took Zamir White. I mean, that's not a bad pick at 8th, but I just don't like Zamir White. I don't think he's going to be that good. That offense is terrible in Vegas. I shed a tear when we traded Adams to Vegas. I wish we would have kept him. Being that I'm from Fresno and I watched him play at Fresno State, he was a phenomenal player with Derek Carr. So, again, we're just waiting to see what happens here. But we're going to fill in this last spot here before we start filling out some bench spots, because kicker defense will be our absolute last picks. There's no reason to take them at any point until the very, very end. Very rarely do kickers outscore these positional players. I mean, it happens, but that's because you took like a dude that's like 3rd string and you have to play him. But it's like, not great. Honestly, I think if we can get Zay Flowers here, I actually like that pick. So it'll be interesting to see. Gus Edwards, that's a good pick. I like these 2 picks here. Raheem Mostert, Gus Edwards in the 9th round. Like, you're not investing a lot into you're not using a good early round pick for a decent guy. If both of these guys stay healthy, it's like that's a gold mine pick right there. Tony Pollard. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Tony Pollard, Tajay Spear backfield. I think if you have Will Levis, if he doesn't, get his shit together, they're going to struggle, and that backfield's just not going to do much. All right, so it's a coin flip here. Do we take Pickens or we take Flowers? Because I don't like Deontay Johnson. Carolina does not have a great situation down there. Bryce Young is just... Calvin Ridley in Tennessee, same thing. Chris Godwin is a good pick, but we already have Mike Evans. And then these guys are down lower, so I really don't... I think at this point, I'm going to take Zay Flowers. I think he's going to do really well this year. So that gives us our core team here. Now we need to start working on drafting some good backups and other players here. So the question is, do I want to take a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, which I don't know, being as old as he is? It just, man, I don't like a lot of the options that are left. Yeah, this will be interesting to see what comes our way here. Let's see what everyone's been taking. So there's Kyle Pitts. That's not a bad pick for 9th round for a tight end. He didn't have one yet, which, I mean, if you wait that long, I mean, we got Kittle. Like where we got him at, it was a good pick. Keenan Allen, not bad for 9th round. I mean, if he comes back even half of what he's been doing previous years, that's a good pick for 9th. Okay, so Brian Robinson Jr. is gone. So we're going to go to all players here and see what's up. So we got George Pickens, Chris Godwin, Calvin Ridley, Devin Singletary, Jaylen Warren. What's up with Jaylen Warren? All right, so we're up. Let's see. What was taken? George Pickens, Brian Robinson. Okay. Man. I just don't know here. Honestly, I think, as much as I hate to do this, I think taking a third quarterback here really solidifies our quarterback core here. They all have different... Well, he has a bye week 6, which hurts. So in actuality... Let's see. I'm going to just pick Chris Godwin. As much as I hate to do that, I think having him along with Mike Evans, you can play them both. Chris Godwin's going to be in the slot. Mike Evans is going to be a deep threat. If they have a really good matchup that week, both of them can go off. One would be a flex spot. One would be, in the main spot. I don't like the pick, but honestly, I think it's the best on board on what was still left, to be honest. Let's go to running backs here. When it comes back to me, I think I'm going to take Jaylen Warren here. Actually, I might take Jerome Ford. That would be a really good pick, actually, because he is the starter until Chubb is good and ready. And so we get some good use out of him, and then we can use a later pick for Nick Chubb and just stash him. So, yeah, I like that. I'm getting really hungry. I need to eat some dinner after this. Yeah, so as you can see, the picks are starting to get longer. People are really, really trying to dive in and see what they're going to get, because I'm sure everybody has had somebody sniped from them that they were trying to target and get. See, I was going to take Deshaun Watson, but I decided not to. So here we go. Draft position. So double. Only shows one for me, but I have. So everybody here has one there and one there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people without a third quarterback. So that'll be interesting. He has 0 tight ends. I wonder who he's targeting. I've got 3 receivers. It's the only scenario. Yeah. All right. It'll be interesting to see. Took another running back. He always goes hard on running backs. I know that. Because running backs do get banged up. They do get hurt a lot. See, coming back to me, I'll probably go Warren Ford. Because I think I got enough receivers. I got Rice, Evans, Flowers, Godwin for right now. So I don't really want to go for another receiver just yet. So I want to go double running back right now because I went like triple receiver right there. Running backs were good early. So yeah, let's see what happens here. We're going to move this along. So as soon as we're going to go here. We're going to take Jaylen Warren. Then on the wraparound, we're going to take Jerome Ford. Just hoping somebody else doesn't take it. Okay, he took Tyjae Spears. Good. Now I got to hope he doesn't take. See, I'm looking at Chase Brown and Jerome Ford. Those are really good. I don't know if Chase Brown. No, Zach Moss is the starter. But Chase Brown's a good stash at this point. So it'd be interesting to see what Touch of Downs does here. Took Russell Wilson. Okay. this is where you get a little bit more time to really like plan out your next picks, because a lot of people don't plan this far into the draft. They plan like their first 6, 7 picks, and then they're like, fuck, what do I do now? Because the guy I was going to take is gone, and I don't think of any backups that I want in that position, and blah, 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 blah. So a lot of people will fall and they'll be like, oh my God, what do I do? And their clock just ticks away, and then they panic pick. So for us right now, we're either getting Chase Brown or Jerome Ford. Like, that's just how it's going to be, depending on what this guy does. I would like to get Jerome Ford because he's an automatic starter right now. And then on the wraparound, I think I'm going to take... I don't know what I'm going to take in the first pick, but in the 14th round, I'm going to take Nick Chubb and have him as backup. Okay, so he took Chase Brown. We're going to take Jerome Ford. That was perfect. I told you, we were getting either one of these guys. We didn't know which one, but we were going to get one of them. All right. So Nick Chubb will be when coming back later. Let's go to all players here. There's still Christian Watson, which I'm not sold on him. Okay, Rico Dowdle. That's fine. DeAndre Hopkins. As much as I love DeAndre Hopkins, he's definitely gone to the wayside of being able to play. This would be a really good option. Let's see. Dontavian Wicks is a good option later. Let's see who else is here. Yeah, there's a lot of different guys to pick, but this douche. Oh, I'm gonna take Nick Chubb. Thanks, bro. All right. Well, Nick Chubb's off the table, so. It's one of those things where I knew as soon as I took Jerome Ford, someone's going to be like, oh, Nick Chubb, let me pay attention and see where Nick Chubb is. It is what it is. I had a feeling somebody was going to take him before I could get him back. You know, it's one of those things where he's still not completely healed. And he's ruled out for the first 4 weeks because of the PUP list, but there is no set timetable for him to come back. That was a gruesome injury. I mean, he may not be back till week 8. And at that point, this dude might drop Nick Chubb to be like, I'm just going to drop him. I need a player, you know, things like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely be on the lookout to see if he drops him. Because if he does, I'm picking him up. Let's see here. Definitely looking at Jameson Williams here. Is there any quarterbacks left? Let's see. Derek Carr, Gardner Minshew. Is he a starter? I'm still looking at Drake May. I mean, Derek Carr is still an okay option. I don't like it, but I guarantee you by the time, let's see here. So me and Sculved are the only ones without 3 quarterbacks. So I don't think we'll have to worry about quarterback right now. So let's go to running back. I don't like any of these, to be honest. Yeah, there's not a single one of these that I like. So let's go to wide receiver. Romeo Dubes, Khalil Shakir, Dontavian Wicks. Did somebody take who I'm gonna take? You motherfucker. This guy sniped both of the people we were gonna take. All right. Well, hmm. Well, I think at this point we'll just go ahead and take Rashid Shaheed. It's not bad for, 13th round pick. Can do okay in that offense. Yes, Chris Olave is the number one, but Rashid Shaheed can do pretty well. The only other person that I feel comfortable taking is probably Kahil or Kahil Shakir. God, if he could stay healthy, he'd be a good option. Honestly, with how late we can take him, I think I might take him in the next pick here. So he took his third quarterback, which that's fine. I think what I might do here is take Derek Carr and then take Drake May later and stash him. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to really solidify having those quarterbacks, because in a double quarterback league, if one of your quarterbacks go down and you've got 3 and you haven't hit your bye weeks yet, you are scrambling to replace your quarterbacks. And I think Drake May will overtake Jacoby Brissett because, like I said, Jacoby Brissett is injury prone. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. And it's funny, last year I did this. I drafted like Mahomes, Cousins, and Carr. And it worked out pretty well for me. I mean, it did all right. So I won one of the leagues, came in second, came in third, made the playoffs in 4 out of 5. So I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But I think taking Derek Carr here as our third option, and then later on stashing Drake May, I think we have a pretty solid bench with Godwin, Warren, Ford, Shaheed. We're pretty stacked here. For 8th pick, I'm okay with this. Like this ended up being okay. Could it have been better? Yeah, if we would have been like the number 1 pick, but that's just the way things go sometimes. So we've got running backs, we've got receivers. I mean, you can only stack so much on the bench. You can only draft when it's your turn to draft. Like, you got to make the decisions when they're there. So that's what we did, and that's what we came up with, which, again, I am okay with this. And it's funny, we're, projected stats, which don't mean a damn thing. We're pretty well up there. So let's see here. It's going to be a while before it's us, so that means we're going to take Drake May. We're going to start looking at our kicker here. Justin Tucker is still there. Wow. You know what? I think I might just take Justin Tucker when it comes back to me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I doubt we'll get him, but that'd be amazing. Just based on this here, there's a defense taken, so that's good. Maybe everyone's going to start taking defenses first and then take kicker last. I don't know. We'll see. Took the gang green, New York Jets. I'm just curious to see if him taking a defense makes people start to go defense. I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to take Justin Tucker. See, look at that. Took Baltimore, New York. I wouldn't be surprised to see defense, and then, or like player defense. That's one thing I've always noticed too. Like, if you watch how the draft goes, typically when a defense gets picked, everyone goes, "Oh shit, I need a defense." And then they start taking defenses. And then eventually someone will take a kicker, and then everyone's like, "Oh shit, I need a kicker" at the end. And so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. So he took Hollywood Brown, and I bet you anything he takes Justin Tucker right here. I'll be really surprised if he doesn't. Took TJ Hawkinson. Okay. I'm actually really surprised he didn't take a kicker. So we're going to see a lot of defenses and kickers start going right now. Now, Justin Tucker is like one of the few kickers I would take overtaking the last bench spot, overtaking a certain defense. Like, there are kickers out there that score pretty well, and they're actually worth taking in this round 15 rather than waiting till the last round. As you can see, Butker, Tucker, Aubrey, like, they're all really good kickers as far as like the points. Evan McPherson's pretty good. There's a lot of good ones to grab here. So Butker got taken. Dallas got taken. So it'd be interesting. San Francisco got taken. Okay, we got 2 more picks. So he's going to probably take a kicker or another player. Here comes Justin Tucker for him. I'd be really happy if I get Justin Tucker. I doubt I'll get him. I think he's going to take him. Don't you take him. Don't you take him. Don't you take him. He's mine. He's my kicker. He's my kicker. My kicker. He's coming to me. He's going to be mine. Mr. Reliable. Don't you do it. Don't auto pick Justin Tucker for him. Son of a bitch. It's going to do it. Watch. It's going to auto pick Justin Tucker. God damn it. I knew it. I knew it. All right. That pisses me off. It really pisses me off. I hate auto draft. I hate when people fucking get that. But anyways. All right. Yeah. That really kind of irritated me. But anyways, I've had 4 players snipe from me. No, more than that. But anyways, that's just what happens. What do we want for defense here? Kansas City's defense is actually relatively good, so we'll just go ahead and take that. Then when it wraps back around, more likely take Evan McPherson. Let's see, is there anybody else? Not really. Brandon Aubrey, but I hate Dallas. I absolutely hate Dallas. Like, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm sorry, but I hate Dallas. Young Hoku, it's not bad. Evan McPherson, I just don't know if he'll put up as many numbers. I really wish I could have gotten Tucker or Butker, but you know what? It happens. That's fine. Take Brandon Aubrey, please. All right, what's up, man? We're kind of wrapping it up here. As you can see, this is what I drafted. We're kind of in the last rounds. We're taking our kickers and our defense, but round 1, I took Patrick Mahomes because quarterbacks score a ton in this league, like 100 more than he had 100 more points than Christian McCaffrey in this league. Then I went Derrick Henry, followed up with Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, George Kittle to round out a very, and then Alvin Kamara. Took my second quarterback with Kirk Cousins. Then I went Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers, and Chris Godwin with Warren and Jerome Ford on the bench, along with Rashid Shaheed, and then followed up with Derek Carr, Kansas City defense, Evan McPherson is my kicker, and then I'm going to stash this guy right here, Drake May, as a way because I believe Jacoby Brissett is going to get hurt, and I think Drake May has been doing really good in the preseason, and I think eventually he'll take over. And as big as the dude is, he can sit in the pocket pretty well, so I think we might have a sleeper with him, especially with our last round pick. So I'll hopefully be doing another one tomorrow. I have 6 leagues that I'll be drafting in. So if you want to stop by tomorrow and watch another draft, I'll be doing that. Hopefully I'm not 8th pick again because that would kind of suck. But that's what I was. I was 8th pick, so I had to do the best I could with what I had. And I feel like we drafted pretty well for being in the 8th pick. But that's why in this league, quarterbacks are like really highly sought after. Like I believe Josh Allen went like number 3 overall, and then we had Mahomes, Hurts, and then on the wraparound you had Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. So because they do score so many points, like if you look at Patrick Mahomes last year, 459 points versus Christian McCaffrey. They're roughly about the same. So by then, when you get to like, Bijan Robinson, he's 300 points. So the running back I could have taken, Derrick Henry, 336. I'll take 100 more points than, what was actually going to be able to be done by a running back. There's another league I'm in where the quarterbacks and the running backs are so far away from each other. Like quarterbacks can score like 100 points in a week, where a running back can score like 30 to 50, depending on how many carries he gets, how many catches he gets, because we do play a little bit more advanced. We do passing attempts, completions, rushing attempts. Like we've added so many points in because we've played for so many years that we got to kind of tweak things to make it a little bit more fun with the scoring system. So yeah, like I said, for 8th pick, I'm not too broken up about this. Having Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins in round 12, but getting Drake round 14 that's not bad. So I think I'm happy with this. It's the first draft of the season for me. I've been doing a lot of mock drafts, but mock drafts are kind of hard because of the leagues I play in versus what they only give you for mock draft. It's not super flex. It's regular standard PPR scoring. So the way the picks go are a little bit more skewed. It's not as on point. So yeah. So, I mean, coming in at number 2 for projected, it's not bad, but I don't think it's great. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a lie. But we'll see what happens in the season, right? So the draft is now complete. This is what I ended up getting. So let's see here. Can't blow this up really, but I can go to my team here and pick my team and show you guys. So here we go. We got Patrick Mahomes, Mike Evans, Rashee Rice, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, George Kittle, Kamara, Flowers, Cousins, Godwin, Warren, Ford, Shaheed, Carr, and May to fill up the bench spots there. So I think we got a pretty good shot at this to at least make the playoffs and make a decent run. So we'll see. Hey, what's up, Real Wiz? We'll see what happens. The draft is only half your season. The other half of your season is paying attention to the injuries, the waiver wire, all the different things that are involved with, this game. So I think we did pretty well in the draft for being 8th. So I know I keep saying it over and over, but I'm actually happy with this until after, 4 weeks into the season and I'm 0-4, and then I'll be really pissed. But we'll see what happens. But no, we're hoping to start off good, hoping to start off strong. If I can get, at least 7-8 wins under the belt, that should shore it up for, being into the playoffs. So, and that's where your team has to shine. So as we start to get close to the playoffs, we'll start to build the roster to make a playoff run. And I'll talk about that type of stuff in upcoming videos. As I go through my leagues and weekly matchups and kind of give you guys a little bit more in-depth look into the fantasy realm if you don't play fantasy. If you do play fantasy, maybe I'll give you a little insight on maybe who you should be starting, who you should probably be dropping, things like that. But I kind of want pumpkin pie. Yeah, I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan, but this is a cheesehead, so I'm pretty sure you're referring to my hat. But with that, guys, thank you all for stopping by and checking out the fantasy draft for tonight. I'm going to try to do a second one tomorrow. I have another one tomorrow, and then I have one on Thursday this week. And then we'll see how next week goes, because I have one on Monday next week, but that'll be in person, so I don't think I'll be able to stream that one. But I can put up some results and everything. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by and seeing you. But they are fantasy football drafts. So I do both. I'll do some regular drafts. Don't worry. But with that, I'm gonna leave you guys like I always leave you, because this is Captain Waffles signing off, and I want you guys to stay syrupy, my friends.